All right, here she is, the brand new 101 Scout that everybody wants to ride. So it was about a 15-minute trip from the dealership up and over these nice little mountains here. I'll throw that footage in after this. So engine characteristics, obviously coming from a more performance-oriented type of rider, reminds me very much of the FTR more than it does the old Scout or the Challenger. This thing pulls like crazy. I can only imagine what it's going to do once you get an exhaust and tune and intake on this thing, but very surprised at how this pulls. But what I'm more surprised by is the handling. So it comes with these piggyback shocks. I did a couple clicks of adjustment, about 3 clicks from whatever it was set at factory, but that turned out really nice. Fronts I haven't touched, but the fronts are fully adjustable on both sides. Obviously you set your sag, and then it has your Brembos, just like your FTR. So these look similar to the FTR lowers and forks that you got on your 2019 FTR and Championship editions. Did scrape a little bit there, as you'll hear in the video. Did I get it too? Yes, I got it too. Obviously it will come with an option for mid controls, which will actually really make this thing a fun little bike to ride. You do have a little bit of adjustment here, so you would be able to suck the forks in. That's probably about an inch or so. And then there are companies that make spacers for these shocks, spring spacers, so you would actually get a little bit more height out of this fairly easily and cheaply. Obviously this is the same dash as on the Sport Chiefs and the normal Chiefs, depending on the options you get. So it's been out for a couple years now, so that's most of the quirks are worked out of there. The switchgear I really love because it's part of the FTR switchgear. Thing about my Challenger is you have your cruise control stuff over here, so it's kind of counterintuitive where you have to move your thumb over, where your cruise control is right here. So I think that's a big upgrade, putting the FTR controls on here. Seat, for as slim as it is actually fairly comfortable. Obviously there's a ton of other YouTube videos that go into more depth about the power and everything. I think this one has 111 horsepower. But overall I'm extremely pleased with how this bike came out. They really knocked it out of the park with the design. It still keeps those traditional lines as your Scouts and Indians, but with the updated look. Obviously the dealer has all the other options down at the demo truck, but this is the one I really wanted to ride, just based because I wanted to feel the suspension, because if everybody knows who rode the older Scouts, the suspension was made for more just cruising around and less for performance. This has a much more of a Sport Chief type vibe. This is actually flickability feels a little bit more, you have more turn in with this than I think the Sport Chief does. And it could also do with how the suspension's set up on this. Like I said, I played with the back, but I didn't touch the front. But yeah, you can dial this in. Obviously you have your rebound down here too, with all your clicks. So when you're just riding on the fly, you can just reach right around and play with that. So you don't need any tools to adjust your rear shocks, which is kind of nice. But we'll get back to all the footage of shooting up around the mountain. We'll get back to the dealer, and I might take out another bike. I'm not sure yet. And if you're ever in central Pennsylvania, Therapy Brewing Company, it was voted one of the best outdoor breweries you can come to. As you can see, it's very nice. They're only open on Saturday and Sunday, and that is Chris, my neighbor, and one of the 2 owners. So great beer. Come during the weekend. Let's get this bike home. Uh-oh. As you can see, this is the most popular bike. I had to wait probably about 5 people to take this out. So obviously cut my little joyride a little short here. I don't want to deprive people of the experience of the 101. Yeah, for even this rough road, suspension is not bad at all. Now obviously, like the FTRs and all that stuff, you have all your modes. Let's see here. Make sure we're in sport mode. We're in sport mode. There's GPS. Like, so nice tech. Let's go. He has to put gas in if that's what you want.
That one?
Yeah.
Alright.
I lied. We'll take this one. So this was basically what the Rogue was, with the similar fairing, risers, and the black wheel and everything. I'm not sure if this one has the tune for the more power, but it should have a little bit less than the other one. So we see what we can do. The suspension does feel a little bit better than I remember from the previous Scouts, so I don't know if they revalved the shocks or anything like that, or if they're new shocks. I'm sorry, I'm not that big into Scouts. But obviously these aren't fully adjustable. You do get your preload adjustment. This just comes with your analog gauge and no cruise control, but you can add cruise control. So that's the neat thing with these new Scouts. You can kind of pick and choose what options you want to put on them. So obviously suspension, cruise control. If you don't want the key, you can get the push button start over here. Yeah, this is basically, I believe they call this one support. Again, I'm sorry, I apologize, I'm not into Scouts that much, but I do know it looks almost identical to the outgoing Rogue model. Obviously this one comes with LED. It's not the Pathfinder LED like you get on the 101, but it's still a full LED. The engine's still very, very perky. Obviously, like I said, you can get the different tune for these two, and then you can have the higher horsepower. But still perky, still a great upgrade from the outgoing model. Really impressed with how Polaris did this. But got any questions or any comments, or if you just want to buy one, contact me through my Instagram. The link's in the description. All right, so this came back when I picked that other Scout back, and so I kind of wanted to compare this with the 101, since technically these two would be in a similar category now. Obviously you have your suspension, you do Brembos, and your piggyback shocks. The difference here is these aren't fully adjustable unless you get that option, and they do not come with an option for fully adjustable front forks. The riding position is very similar. Obviously this has mid controls, but the Scout has mid controls. It'll be about the same, but with the risers, same gauge, everything else is kind of the same. Personally, I'm not that big of an air-cooled guy, I'm more of a liquid-cooled guy, but when I rode this in Austin when it was released last year, I much preferred this over the Scout. However, with this new Scout, I'd have to say I'm a fan of the 101. If I were to be in the market for either one of these bikes, it would 100% be that 101. This engine pulls strong from the bottom, but kind of dies out pretty fast. I think Redline, yeah, Redline's $5,000, where on the Scout I think it was $9,000, I want to say. But it just keeps pulling, again, because it's air cooled. That's kind of my thing. Or liquid cooled, sorry. But I just like the more lively liquid cooled engine. That's why I like my Challenger and my FTRs, and that's why I didn't get a Chieftain or anything. But again, everybody has their preferences. There's no disputing that these air cooled Thunderstrokes sound amazing, especially when you put a set of cams and exhaust on them, versus the liquid cooled engines. But it's all about personal preference. I'm personally more of a fan of performance, and that's what I like to go for. So if you're in the market for a Scout or a Sport Chief, I would definitely ride both of them back to back. A lot of dealers will have both of these on the floor that you can test ride or find a demo truck. This demo truck will be here. I'll probably put this video out in a couple days here. But they'll be back in the middle of June at the Center Hall location of Bestline Power Sports if you're in PA. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.